Noodle here to talk to you, and you can bet your butt I'm gonna talk alright. Side note, you're probably gonna hear a lot of buzzing throughout the video. I think it's my AC, it's really hot where I am right now. You probably saw the thumbnail, title, background, and my character and assumed this was a direct copy of Noodle's content, in which you would be wrong. You see, I am doing 8 games instead of the 7 that he covered in that one video. I liked the idea of discussing indie games so much, I decided to do it, which is what you're watching right now. Not all of the games I'm going to be talking about will be games you've never heard of, but I think I got 3 that are pretty untalked about that I think you'll all love. Sorry PC gamers, but 2 of these games are console exclusives. But with that being said... Alright, let's knock this one off my list. A Hat in Time is easily the most talked about game I've got here, but I couldn't not include it. A Kickstarter project that launched in 2013 was asking for 30 grand to turn their vision into reality. It absolutely smashed that goal almost 6 times over, raising more than 200 grand. Gearbox took their... budget and went as far as they could with the game. This game, while super fun, is lacking in some parts. In certain areas, the game just does not look good in the lighting department, especially on the Nintendo Switch version. And yeah, the Switch version is not the best port job. The loading screen art is horribly low res, and frame rate drops happen often. However, if you can only nab the Switch version, it is more than a serviceable way to play. And oof, the voice acting is not great at all. I kinda almost wish they went with mumbles and burbles like Banjo-Kazooie or Mario Odyssey. Wait, that's an option? This was a stretch goal, why was this put above voice acting? However, the music is superb. And did I mention this game is fun? The platforming, while a tiny bit unfair, is so good. Everything comes together to make this an excellent experience worth every penny. Please add Hat Kid to Smash via a Mii Fighter, that would be really cool. Also, isn't it weird that this game is rated T for teen? Fortnite, Fall Guys, Apex Legends. All of these games have something in common, that being I don't like them. You gotta understand that Battle Royales are not my cup of tea. I don't like tea. So when Boomerang Fu came out, a game with pretty visuals, fun, addictive pick up and play gameplay, you can imagine I didn't care. I saw it on Nintendo's YouTube channel and never heard from it again. But one day I purchased myself a Switch Lite, so my regular Switch wouldn't be lonely. I picked up 3 digital games, a cute anime visual novel, a golf game, no, this one, and Boomerang Fu. This game is $15, which is kind of asking a lot considering its amount of content. In this game, you play against up to 6 players with 30 arenas and 12 characters to pick from. That is still not enough to justify the price. It's being updated consistently, but man, I don't know, I think $7 to $10 is a more reasonable price point. But I picked up my copy for $2 on sale, so I should shut my grubby little mouth up. To be fair, this game has local multiplayer, but even then it's kinda weird. This game would definitely be worth the asking price with online, but no. They say it's because the game is best for couch co-op? That makes no sense, this game does not benefit from couch co-op like Mario Party does. However, if you stomach your grievances and pay up, what you'll find is a well-made, fun, charming little game. Lack of content be damned, this game is just plain old fun. You know, maybe the cost of the game will be worth it due to its replay value. If you find it at a price you're willing to pay, I say pick it up. Oh, snipper clips. This game is my second game I ever picked up on my Switch after Mario Odyssey. I hold this one near and dear to my heart. It's a co-op puzzler in which you and one other friend control snip or clip. Have fun together by cutting each... oh my god. It's not as harmful as it sounds, I swear. The game allows the players to cut each other, because they're paper, to solve puzzles and complete challenges. The best way to play this game would be to hook up with a buddy and spend a day trying to complete the game. But there is a single-player mode in which you flip between snip and clip with the press of a button, which was how I played it. The game is pretty jam-packed full of things to do. You can create your own works of art. I made a penis. You can play the campaign, which has a lot of levels, and hell, you can even get 4 people together and play the 4-player campaign. There's even an air hockey minigame. I wonder if anyone's bought this game to play the air hockey minigame. You can snip, you can clip, and you can play air hockey. And if you're willing to pay $10 extra, you can pick up Snipper Clips Plus, which comes with 2 bonus worlds and some other stuff I've already mentioned. Do play if you have not yet. Wrecked is the game I wanted out of all of those shitty racing games on the iPhone's App Store. It's a shut your brain off experience in which you can do slick tricks on your skateboard, car, or other car. The whole game is pretty bare unless you like trying to go for a high score. And yes, I can confirm it does have more content than Pac-Man. While it does lack in that department, it makes up for in costs. This game is cheap, $6 is more than reasonable. The base game comes with 4 maps and a million cars that all have slight differences. With the points you score by completing challenges, you can make your car better, whether it be by improving your speed, grip, drift, or flip. The saving grace of this game is definitely the driving. It's so smooth and landing tricks and flips is so gratifying. Part of landing these flips is by keep doing them. Landing more flips or spins increases your score while also instantly changing the color of the stadium. If the game wasn't fun to control, this wouldn't have made the list. Also, if 4Tracks doesn't do it for you, you can purchase the DLC, Wrecked the Forge. It's just one extra bonus map and some new cars. It won't entertain you for multiple hours on end, but for $6, just do it. Super Thought is my favorite first-person shooting game. You play as a fragile glass man with an assortment of throwing stars, glass bottles, a pipe, swords, guns, and a lot of other random objects at your disposal. The entire game, you have only one life. You get hit once and you're donezo, back to the start of the level with you. The entire game uses a color palette of red, white, and black. The environments are entirely white, which makes it super easy to spot the enemies who are bright red. The game also has a super neat story in which you kill yourself. I'm not kidding. This game really hit it big a while back, especially with its VR game. It has separate level design, so thank God it's not just super hot, but in VR. I neglected to mention up until now that throughout the entire game, time only moves when you move. The game also received a sequel, which I am said to report wasn't good. The gameplay was still good at its heart, but there are multiple reasons why it just isn't as good as the first game that I will cover in its own future video one day. When you boot up the game, we're back to the first one now. Boots up this old computer software, PiOS. This allows you to boot up the game that I've been talking about the entire time, while also serving functionality to the story through random, totally not threatening messages you get from strangers telling you to stop killing red dudes. This game also has a large amount of after-game content. There are modes in which you have to run through the entire game under certain conditions, such as not being able to use a gun or sword. I think while the game marvels in its gameplay and mechanics, where it kinda drops the ball is soundtrack and level design. Most of the levels are really good, but I wish they allowed more cinematic things to be done. And the music, is non-existent. The game relies a lot on the sound of enemies dying, which is just glass breaking, gunshots, or whatever else. Well, to be fair, the first game has this song, but not my favorite. Thankfully, the sequel added this Doom Eternal level one level. Only one, and it ends too soon. No, this game is good. Pick it up. Counter-Spy, don't confuse the names, is my second favorite 2D shooting game. You play as a counter-spy to foil the plans of both Russia and America from blowing up the moon. You run through the levels either stealthily or guns a-blazing using environmental hazards to your advantage, such as oil barrels. You only have 4 weapons available at a time, each with its own gameplay use. If you want to go through the game stealthily, the dart gun and silenced pistol are your best bet. If you want to kill multiple enemies at once, a grenade gun works great. However, standard pistols are mandatory to keep on you at all times, which isn't necessary. I can buy all these guns, just let me use the ones I want. This was more of an experiment for Sony, as it was an exclusive for them. The game has a cross-saving function in which you can save on your PS3 and pick up and play later on your PS Vita. Thankfully, the game isn't stuck on the PS3 anymore, and was ported to the PS4 later down the line. But who the fuck cares about that gimmick? When you jump into a game, you start by infiltrating a military base, each decked with its own stone-cold soldiers. And propaganda, lots of propaganda. Sometimes if you're lucky, you can find a toilet room, which yes, is rare. The story is really simple. Collect missile blueprints and piece them together to progress the story and stop the moon from being destroyed. You have this little zit at the top of your screen called your DEFCON level. The higher the number, the more careful you should be. Leaving enemies alert of your presence hurts you, as it can raise your DEFCON level. Police officers, if left alive after killing all other enemies in a room, can be used to lower your DEFCON. One thing you can encounter in this game are... This game has some pretty funny glitches, which almost complement the game's theming, since it's not supposed to be taken super seriously. Like, I'll kill an enemy and they just pull a source physics engine on me. However, multiple occasions I've been stuck in a T-pose permanently unless I quit the level, which is funny the first time and never again. On top of the glitches, the AI is not good. Sometimes the enemy just won't turn around, which is especially frustrating when tackling police officers, but the Cold War aesthetic, addictive gameplay, and art style all culminate together to create a game worth witnessing, even through all of its rough patches. Remember Meat Boy? Flash game turned game on PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, and Nintendo Switch. Fun piece of trivia, the game had a cancelled Wii version, which is sad. Being able to kill Meat Boy with the waggle of your controller would have improved the game drastically, which also was a missed opportunity on the Nintendo Switch version, but whatever. But what I want to talk about is... Super Meat Boy Forever is in almost every aspect, without a doubt, worse than the original, except for the music, which is really... Of course, I still love this game, personally more than the first, but I cannot deny that the first game is the better game. It started out as a mobile-only sequel turned not mobile-only. What separates this game from the original is the auto-running mechanic in this game. Which, don't get me wrong, sounds like a massive turnoff compared to the first, in which you had full control of the character. But, what's actually really cool is that this opens the door for more ideas that couldn't be done otherwise without the open inputs. Running automatically actually makes it more comfortable to play, but it doesn't make the game easier by any means. The art style and the fully animated cutscenes in between chapters are really nice. And the bosses in this game? Make me want to stop playing. These, I think, are some of the hardest bosses I've experienced in a video game, and no, I have not played Dark Souls or Sekiro, so please don't hurt me. There are over 300 levels, and in contrast to the bosses that make me want to pull my hair out, the levels are really fun. Also, I kinda lied about the music, it's more so... Let's talk about the story. In the first game, Dr. Fetus kidnapped Bandage Girl. In this one, Dr. Fetus kidnaps your baby named Nugget. He's really cute. And by the end, Senior Fetus turns into a space god and makes Steak Boy and Band-Aid Girl best bitches. And that final boss is... fun. What I didn't know at first was that you can play as Bandage Girl, and I didn't know that until I was almost done with the game. Also, if you can, play this game with a PS5 controller. It does not feel too great with Joy-Cons. I finished it using my PS5 controller on my Nintendo Switch, and it was just much more comfortable. Oh, I almost forgot when writing this. Team Meat made a little plush toy of Meat Boy, which, side note, better have Meat Boy's ass like in almost every official piece of art. But what I really wanted to ask was, can we have a plush of Nugget? Look at this, someone on Etsy made a plush of Nugget, and it's adorable. Alright, anywho, next game.
So, for today's recipe, you'll first need a well-sharpened knife,
but also a big frying pan.
Let it cook over an open fire.
Oh, this game. Remember earlier when I said Counter-Spy was my second favorite 2D shooting game? I assume you know where I'm going with that statement. My friend Pedro is effing phenomenal in almost every aspect. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's discuss the premise. You wake up in this disgusting room with nothing but an amnesia diagnosis and a talking banana named Pedro, who tells you to kill. You run, you gun, you kick, and you jump your way through hordes of enemies that range from goons to bounty hunters to sewer gamers and internet soldier people. This game is a weird amalgamation of ideas that the game just bathes in. The story ends with a twist that I won't spoil, but holy shit, I adore this game. So much so, I beat it 6 times, 4 times normally, and then twice with the infinite bullets and unlimited slow motion modifiers. Speaking of modifiers, throughout the entire game you find these weird things that you can collect. By touching them, you pick up modifiers. While unavailable until the end of the game, I think, these unlock certain sheets, whether it be stupid ones like Big Head Sheet or Infinite Ammunition. That one's a fun one. The entire game you'll be pulling off moves you didn't even know were possible in 2D. You'll be hanging upside down from a rope with both guns pointed at 2 different enemies while dodging their bullets by spinning. You'll kick a frying pan into the air and shoot at it, causing your bullets to ricochet off and hit other dudes. You go off of a ramp using a skateboard, jumping through a glass window in slow motion, and then shoot everyone in the room before you even hit the ground. It is so much fun. There are also a lot of puzzles in this game, which I can appreciate, some of which involve flipping switches using your gun. Although the worst part of this game has to be Pedro's world. This doesn't progress the story at all and almost feels like filler. But the world isn't bad, it's just the weakest part of the game, especially coming off of the bounty hunter section. But all of the negatives are easily outweighed by the positives. And holy shit, the fucking music in this game. This is a rare instance where I think you can't go wrong with the console version or PC version. PC, Xbox, Switch, PS4, it doesn't matter. It's just that intuitive. Random tidbit I thought I'd just throw out there. The game was given a teen rating by the ESRB when it first came out, but was for some reason re-rated to M for mature. That's weird, but hey, at least they got a physical copy after that change, so good for it. If you're not sure if you're interested in this game, a mobile spin-off is coming out soon. My friend Pedro ripped for revenge. As it is a mobile game, I'm not sure how the controls will work, but hey, we'll just have to wait and see. And if you want to try something right now, you can play the Flash game my friend Pedro was based off of that goes by the same name. Devolver Digital is my new favorite company to simp for. We're done. He ended the video just like this, noodle that is, and I'm done. If you're gonna play any of these, play my friend Pedro. That was the best one. Bye.